Welcome everyone for this Bhakti Shastri Bhagavad Gita class. We'll start with Mangala Charan. My voice is clear?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's clear.
Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadate Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamshcha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajeevam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam Shri Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namane Maste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirviseshunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namo He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostita Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriya Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Okay, so before starting with today's topics, I want to some of you can share like what we discussed in yesterday's class. Few, at least 2-3 devotees, 3-4 devotees. Yes, Prabhu, you can share.
Prabhuji, from the introduction, like Prabhupada is telling about the central point of the Bhagavad Gita, where he's telling that the central point of the Bhagavad Gita is not to satisfy our own senses or our own personal sense gratification, but it is to satisfy the senses of the Lord, and Lord is demanding it through this Bhagavad Gita.
Okay, yes. Thank you. Yes, someone else, some more?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
We have
Yes, bro. Please tell me.
We also discussed about the 5 subject matters of Gita. So, Ishvara, Jiva, Kal, Prakriti, and Kal. Karma.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Any one more devotee?
we first have started with the themes which are studied in Upanishad, and then we understood that Bhagavad Gita is continuation. It continues the topic there it is about controller, supreme controller, and here we will know about who is that supreme controller and what is his nature and all that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, Ishopanishad, there is a lot of discussion about dharma, and it discusses a little about absolute truth. And Bhagavad Gita, it shows the way to attain absolute truth, yoga, and etc. Okay, and also we discussed about preface, where Prabhupada tells about the his humble disposition and how his service attitude to make Bhagavad Gita really authentic. Then the way to understand Bhagavad Gita properly, that is to accept Krishna as God, to have devotion to Krishna, and to understand it directly, not take any indirect meanings, and to understand the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to deliver paritrana sadhuna. So with that purpose in mind, we also should see Bhagavad Gita. Okay, and we also in introduction also we saw how Prabhupada almost more or less reiterates the same things in preface, and then first Prabhupada offers prayers, which is Namaskar, the Mangala Charan. And then in Vastu Nirdeshan, Prabhupada reiterates the themes in preface. And then Prabhupada explains about, starts with the 5 items of Bhagavad Gita. He explains it. Then he explains about each item. Then he explains how Ishwar and Jiva are not same. then how Brahman is subordinate to Bhagavan. Then Prabhupada goes on with, then Prabhupada explains about spiritual world, Sanatana Dharma, etc. So today we will discuss last one of the important section in the last section of the introduction, and then the Falastuti, or what you can say, Ashirvad, part of the Mangalacharan or introduction of Prabhupada, the verses from Gita Mahatmya, and then we will start with the first chapter. Okay. So, okay, let me share my screen. Okay. Okay, Shreyas Prabhu, can you read?
Yes,
From
Prabhuji.
Take Shelter of Spiritual Energy. Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah, there are so many, I think
Yes. There are so many literatures which fill our thoughts with the material energy, newspapers, magazines, novels, etc. Our thinking, which is now absorbed in these literatures, must be transferred to the Vedic literatures. The great sages, therefore, have written so many Vedic literatures, such as the Puranas. The Puranas are not imaginative, they are historical records. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela 20.122, there is the following verse. माया मुग्धा जीवेरा नाही स्वतः कृष्ण ज्ञान जीवेर कृपया कोइला Krishna Veda Puran. The forgetful living entities or conditioned souls have forgotten their relationship with the Supreme Lord and they are engrossed in thinking of material activities. Just to transfer their thinking power to the spiritual sky, Krishna Dvaipayana Vyasa has given a great number of Vedic literatures.
Okay, so yeah, you can. So one of the purpose of, so as devotees, one of the important thing is we should remember Krishna. So the background is that Prabhupada is emphasized that whomever you remember at the last moment of life, you will attain that. So if you have to remember Krishna, so we have to cultivate remembrance of Krishna. So here Prabhupada is saying that for the Vedic literatures are meant for that. Okay, so you can continue this. We must.
We must always engage our minds in reading these Vedic literatures, just as materialists engage their minds in reading newspapers, magazines, and so many materialistic literatures. We must transfer our reading to these literatures, which are given to us by Vyasadeva. In that way, it will be possible for us to remember the Supreme Lord at the time of death. That is the only way suggested by the Lord, and He guarantees the result. There is no doubt. तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु माम् अनुस्मरयुध्य च मयि अर्पिता मनो बुद्धिर माम् एवैष्यसि असंशय. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna and at the same time continue your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without a doubt. Bhagavad Gita 8.7.
Okay, so Bhagavad Gita is not just a philosophy book, but it is also a means to remember Krishna. Means it's not just in the beginning we study and then it's done. Even for advanced devotees also, they benefit from Bhagavad Gita because it helps them to remember Krishna. So once in one lecture, one devotee asked to Loknath Maharaj, we see Bhagavad Gita appears a bit philosophical, dry and all, but we see Bhagavatam, there is a lot of rasa and all. Then Maharaj became upset and Maharaj told, how can you say like that? There is a lot of rasa in Bhagavad Gita. So we can see how the Bhakta Vatsalyata of Krishna towards Arjuna and the compassion of Krishna to the conditioned souls. There are many things. So even Bhagavad Gita itself tells how there is a lot of rasa. At the end, Sanjaya says, Samvadam imam ashrausham adbhutam roma harshanam. So if you see, Sanjaya might have known the philosophy of what Krishna might have told, but he tells that my hairs are standing on end after hearing this. So what Sanjaya means, he remembered Krishna and that made him happy. And then Arjuna, in Bhagavatam, the context comes that Krishna departs to the spiritual world, then Arjuna becomes morose, and then Yudhishthira asks, Arjuna, what happened? So then Arjuna tells what all happened. Then Arjuna tells, when I remember the words of Govinda, which were suitable to place, time, and subject, and which calmed the pain in my heart. So Arjuna also, he knows the philosophy of Gita, but by remembering Gita, he remembered Krishna, and that made him happy. That made him overcome the loss of physical separation from Krishna. Okay. So Bhagavad Gita is not just a philosophy book, it is non-different from Krishna. Okay. And yeah, that we'll discuss later. So then Prabhupada talks about now, okay, we have to remember Krishna. So is it that we have to spend all our time reading Gita? No, you can go to your occupation, and then Prabhupada speaks about how one can harmonize occupation with Krishna consciousness. He quotes the analogy given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu of the a chaste wife having a paramour, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives to Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yeah, then Prabhupada says about chanting the holy name, and this thing we should learn from a teacher, how to harmonize the occupation with Krishna consciousness. So then Prabhupada concludes his introduction, means the Vastu Nirdeshan part of his introduction. So Prabhupada says, in conclusion, Bhagavad Gita is a transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. Okay. So then Prabhupada now starts the Gita Mahatmya section, which tells various glories of Bhagavad Gita and also the benefits and the blessings one can get through Bhagavad Gita. Okay, you can read. Jayanand Krishna Prabhu, can you read? Hare Krishna. Shaili Mataji, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji.
You can read from if one properly follows.
Yes, Prabhuji. If one properly follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all miseries and anxieties in this life, and one's next life will be spiritual. If one reads Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of his past misdeeds will not act upon him. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Thus the Lord takes all responsibilities for one who surrenders unto him, and he indemnifies such a person against all reactions of sins. One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water, but if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished. Gita Mahatmya 3rd.
Yes. Next.
Because Bhagavad Gita is... Shall I continue, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, people are so absorbed in mundane activities that it is not possible for them to read all the Vedic literatures. But this is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures and especially because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gita
Okay.
Mahatmya 4.
Yeah. So the first three, they talk about the benefit of liberation, because for those who are materially attached and all, for them liberation is a very prominent desire. So to attract them to Bhagavad Gita, so those things are spoken. Now here in the fourth one, it says you need not read any other Vedic literature. If you just read Bhagavad Gita, it is sufficient because it is spoken by the Supreme Lord Krishna and it contains the essence of all Vedic literature. Yes, Mataji, you can continue with the fifth.
One who drinks the water of Ganges attains salvation. So, what to speak of one who drinks the nectar of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of Mahabharata, and it is spoken by Lord Himself, the original Vishnu. Gita Mahatmya 5.
Okay. Next.
The Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, the essence of all the Upanishads, is just like a cow. And Lord Krishna, who is famous as a cowherd boy, is milking this cow. Arjuna is just like a calf, and learned scholar and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. In this
Okay.
present day, people are very much eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. Therefore, Ekam Shastram.
Yeah, you can continue. Devaki Putra Gita.
Devaki Putra Gitam. Let there be one scripture only, one common scripture for the whole world. Bhagavad Gita. Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. Let there be one God for the whole world. Sri Krishna. Eko Mantrasya Tasya Namani, and one hymn. One mantra, one prayer. The chanting of his name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Karmapi ekam tasya devasya seva, and let there be one work only, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay, thank you. So the the before verse talks about this analogy of Krishna milking the cow, which is the Vedic literature, and the milk is Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna as a calf is drinking the milk, and the remnants are distributed to us. So that's the thing. So it is the same milk. Even if we access with that mode, we can also derive benefit from that. And then the last verse talks about how the whole world can be united through Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so we have completed the introduction. I want to know if there are any questions on introduction or anything we have just right now. Yes, Pro Arun, Pro, you can ask your question.
Hare Krishna, Guru. Like wearing Gita Mahatmya 4, that we should not read any other literature. How should we take this statement, Prabhuji? Because it is in Mahatmya, so surely like it is glorifying Gita, and no doubt it is correct.
Yeah.
And how do we understand it?
Means it's not like no, it's not like somebody. It's not like a restriction, but it is like a glorification of Gita. It's like you say if someone has let's say there is rice and a sweet, so someone is telling you need not eat this rice, you should eat sweet. So that's like glorification of the sweet. It's not like saying rice is bad, but sweet is better than rice. So it's like that. It's not that's what you have to see the context and then accordingly see, because in Gita itself it is told nacha shastra vidim utsridya vartate kamakaratah. So Gita is also telling you should read shastra, but the essence of shastra is there in Gita. So that's like that. Now to go deeper in the principles of Gita, or how to apply those principles and all, definitely you need sadhus and other shastras. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, any other question? Okay, so we'll proceed to the first chapter. So before proceeding, I want to know, like, are there any devotees who are reading Gita for first time, like who have not read Bhagavad Gita? This is like the first reading of Gita. Somebody there? Anyone like that? Because accordingly we have to see how to teach it. Okay, so if no one is there, then I assume that you have read Bhagavad Gita before, so that accordingly I will teach. If somebody finds any difficulty and all, you can let Yamuna Vilas Prabhu know, so that I can modify my teaching accordingly. Okay, then Prabhupada also gives our disciplic succession, because this is a part of making Gita authentic. Okay, next we'll start with the first chapter. So the Bhagavad Gita, as it is in Mahabharata, it's just a conversation. No, there is no chapters and all. But initially, Adi Shankaracharya, in his commentary, he divided Bhagavad Gita into chapters. After that, Ramanujacharya, he actually named the chapters. He gave very appropriate name according to the theme, according to the topic being discussed, so that it is easy to remember. So the first chapter is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. The first chapter basically explains, gives the context of which how Arjuna got bewildered, and the context of the philosophical discussion between Krishna and Arjuna. So it's important to understand the context. Otherwise, the content can be misunderstood, or it may not become clear. So it's always important to understand the context. So it's like, if you see an SMS in a conversation view, it makes more sense. Otherwise, if you just see the SMS alone in the inbox, it may become a little difficult. So it's like that. Or it's like a backdrop. Backdrop enhances the beauty of the deities. So it's like, this is the context is like the backdrop, you can say. Okay, so in the first chapter, there are around 5 sections. This is as per the student handbook you have. So the first chapter starts with a very unusual query, by Dhritarashtra. When the war is about to start, and then Dhritarashtra gets concerned about the place of the war. So then Sanjaya understood the intent of Dhritarashtra's query and responds to him. Then Sanjaya addresses the concern of Dhritarashtra, answers his emotion by starting description of the war, of what is happening on the battlefield. He first he starts with the conversation between Duryodhana and Dronacharya. Then so Duryodhana tells to Drona what to do, what not to do, and Duryodhana's fears are revealed. So then so Duryodhana's concern is that Bhishma should be protected, and he's banking upon Bhishma for winning the war. So Bhishma could also sense it. So then Bhishma starts blowing the conch to assure Duryodhana that yeah, I will fight with all my might and I will do my best. So then once Bhishma sounds the conch shell, then all Kauravas starts sounding the conch shells. And then the third section comes when Arjuna and Krishna starts there blowing their conch shell. Then the Pandavas blow their conch shell. Then it is described how also the Kauravas felt fearful. So then it stops there. So then Arjuna asks Krishna, no, okay, so let's see who are there on the other side. So then, and take me to the other side. So Krishna acts like a charioteer to Arjuna, and no, Krishna obeys the order of Arjuna. So this all the Bhakta Vatsalyata of Krishna towards Arjuna is there. So then Arjuna gets bewildered. Arjuna feels so all my relatives are there. Then how can I kill them? Then Arjuna gives different reasons: compassion, enjoyment, sinful reactions, society, condition of society, Varna Sankara, like that. It goes on. And this bewilderment also continues to the next chapter, the second chapter also, the beginning. So this is the division of different sections of the first chapter. So we will start with the first shloka now. So yeah, so I will recite the shloka. Whoever want, they can switch on their audio and follow it. At least one can do that so that I can continue. Okay, so the first shloka starts with this Dhritarashtra's unusual query. Dhritarashtravacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samavetaayutsavah pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya. Okay, it will save time. We can also recite together. Maybe that is good. It's a traditional thing. It's a traditional thing, so you can repeat after me. That is good. Okay, again we'll recite. Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samavetaayutsavah.
धृतराष्ट्र उवाच धर्मक्षेत्रे कुरुक्षेत्रे समवेतायुत्सवः
Mamaka pandavaschaiva kimakurvata sanjaya.
मामकः पाण्डवाश्चैव किम् अकुर्वत संजय.
Okay, so Dhritarashtra is asking, Mamakaha, Kauravas, Pandavas, Chaiva, and Pandavas, Yuyutsavaha, they are eager to fight, and Samaveta, they are assembled. So Kauravas and Pandavas are assembled with eager to fight. Where? Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. Kurukshetra, but which is a dharma, is a place of dharma. And Dhritarashtra is asking a very unusual question. What they have done? So yeah, so Prabhupada's is the translation. Yes, someone can read it. I can read it. Listen. Okay, Sri Ganga Putra Prabhu, can you read? Okay, Prasanna Gopal Prabhu, can you read the translation?
Yes, Rohit. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjay, after my sons and sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do?
Okay. So yeah, you can read the purport now. Yeah, purport, the first paragraph talks about again what is Gita and how to read Gita. Prabhupada again reiterates the preface and the first part of introduction. Yes, Prabhuji, you can continue.
Bhagavad Gita is widely read theistic science summarized in the Gita Mahatmya, glorification of Gita. There it says that one should read Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizingly with the help of person who is a devotee of Sri Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. The example of clear understanding is there in the Bhagavad Gita itself. In the way the teaching is understood by Arjuna, who heard Gita directly from the Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand Bhagavad Gita in that line of disciplic succession without motivated interpretation, then he surpasses all studies of the Vedic wisdom and all scriptures of the world. One will find in the Bhagavad Gita that is contained in other scriptures, but the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere. That is specific standard of Bhagavad Gita. It is the perfect theistic science because it is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna.
Okay, so here Prabhupada is again telling that no, you should be a devotee of Krishna and you should not have any motivated interpretations. So this is very essential. If this is not there, then reading Bhagavad Gita, one may not understand anything or one may understand something wrong. So I had one friend in my BTech at NIT Warangal. So when I was initially introduced to Krishna consciousness, he told me, I have read Bhagavad Gita 3 times, but what is there? I have not understood anything. So that is there. Also, some devotees also experience when they initially got Bhagavad Gita, because they are in the initial stage of Bhakti, so they did not understand much. So many devotees told in the books are the basis interviews also. Okay, then the Prabhupada gives the context, how this is a Mahabharata, it's a part of Mahabharata, and Sanjay is narrating to Dhritarashtra, etc. And then Prabhupada speaks about the importance of Kurukshetra. So Kurukshetra is a Dharma Kshetra. Dharma Kshetra means their religious rituals. Even Devas used to come. Our Acharyas say that even Devas used to come and perform yajnas there. So it's a very vibrant place, a spiritually vibrant place. Now Prabhupada explains what is there in Dhritarashtra's mind, why he qualified the word Kurukshetra with Dharma Kshetra. Prabhuji, you can continue the word Dharma.
The word Dharma Kshetra, a place where religious rituals are performed, is significant because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present on the side of Arjuna. Dhritarashtra, the father of Kurukshetra, was highly doubtful about the possibility of his son's ultimate victory. In his doubt, he inquired from his secretary Sanjay, what did they do? He was confident that both his sons and the sons of his younger brother Pandu were assembled in that field of Kurukshetra for a determined engagement of the war. Still, his inquiry is significant. He did not want a compromise between the cousins and brothers, and he wanted to be sure of the face of his sons on the battlefield, because the battle was arranged to be fought at Kurukshetra, which is mentioned elsewhere in the Vedas as the place of worship. Even for the denizens of heavens, Dhritarashtra became very fearful about the influence of the holy place on the outcome of the battle. He knew very well that this would influence Arjuna and the sons of Pandu favorably, because by nature they were all virtuous. Sanjay was a student of Vyas, and therefore, by the mercy of Vyas, Sanjay was able to envision the battlefield of Kurukshetra even while he was in the room of Dhritarashtra. And so Dhritarashtra asked him about the situation on the battlefield.
Okay,
Both the Pandavas.
Prabhuji, I'll just explain. I need to explain. Okay, so if you see the query, it looks like someone goes to the hotel, he took the menu and read it, and then the waiter came. Then if someone asks, what did he do? So it looks little like a silly question. But the Dhritarashtra's fear is because Kurukshetra is a Dharma Kshetra. So Dhritarashtra is afraid that because of the influence of the place, Duryodhana should not change his mind. Or, Duryodhana is sinful, is not so pious, is adharmic. So, okay, it may not happen to him. But Pandavas are pious. So they should not change their mind. They should not agree, okay, let's leave, we don't want any kingdom, we can go back to forest. So that should not happen. So that is Dhritarashtra's fear. And he's also, of course, as Prabhupada mentioned, that he is also afraid that because Krishna is on the side of Pandavas, he is also afraid of that. It looks like in the means, if somebody is asking, no, like okay, so they have gone to Dharmakshetra. So let's say if somebody has a fight, and if two children have a fight, so then they go to their mother. So then so they may go because of, sometimes they may go because they may feel that, no, okay, we are fighting, it's not good to fight, so let's go to mother, and no, she will solve our fight. So sometimes they may go like that, or sometimes they may go because of compulsion, because mother called. So then they may go, but no, they don't. But they are adamant. No, they want to get their thing done. But they are afraid. They are afraid. Okay, if mother comes, mother will convince us, and no, I will not get my thing. So Dhritarashtra, if you see the verse, it appears that he is actually he doesn't want the war. If you see the verse, but actually now what Dhritarashtra actually wants, Prabhupada tells in the next paragraph. Yes, Prabhupada, you can read this.
Both the Pandavas and the sons of Dhritarashtra belong to the same family, but Dhritarashtra's mind is disclosed herein. He deliberately claimed only his sons of Kurus and the sons as Kurus, and he separated the sons of Pandu from the family heritage. One can thus understand the specific position of Dhritarashtra in his relationship with his nephews, the sons of Pandu.
Okay, thank you. So now the word, Mamaka Pandava. So Dhritarashtra is calling his son as my sons, Kauravas, but calling Pandavas as seeing separately. So this shows the intention of Dhritarashtra, that he wants the kingdom to go to Kauravas. He wants the war to happen, and he wants the Kauravas to win at any cost, whether dharmic or adharmic. So this is how each word has significance in the verse. Dharmakshetre, Pandava, Mamaka, Pandava, all these things. Okay. So then Prabhupada gives this Kshetra analogy. Kshetra means also field. So in field, what are there? There are plants, and also there are weeds. So what a farmer does, he cultivates the plants and he removes the weeds. So it is compared to that the farmer is Krishna, and under whose supervision the war is happening, and the plants means the crop refers to Pandavas, who are dharmic, and the weeds are compared to Kauravas, who are adharmic. So Krishna will make Pandavas win, and will annihilate the Kauravas because they are adharmic, and Pandavas will win because they are dharmic. So this is another way of seeing the word Kshetre, which our acharyas give, and which our acharyas and Prabhupada gives. So this verse tells about the mentality of Dhritarashtra. Now so now Sanjaya could sense this hidden fear of Dhritarashtra. On the surface, it appears that Dhritarashtra wants peace by this shloka, but actually he was afraid. That's why he used the word Mamaka Pandava. So Sanjaya responds to the fear of Dhritarashtra. So Sanjaya, being very attentive, being very experienced assistant, he could sense the emotion of the master, and in the next verse he responds to that emotion. Let's see how he does. Okay. Sanjaya Vacha Drishtva tu Pandavanikam Yudam Duryodhanastatha.
Sanjay Uvacha Drishtva tu Pandavanikam Yudam Duryodhanastatha
Acharyam upasangamya Raja Vachanam Abravit.
आचार्यमुपसंगम्य राजा वचनब्रवीत्.
Okay, so Sanjaya Vacha, Sanjaya said, so yeah, Raja refers to Duryodhana. Raja Vachanam Abravit, Acharyam Upasangamya. He approached Dronacharya and told this. Društva tu, see the Pandavanikam, the army of Pandavas, Vyudam, Duryodhana, Vyudam, Društva tu Pandavanikam. Yeah. Yeah, and showed the army of Pandavas, Vyudam, Duryodhanas. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Who can read the translation? Okay. Nisha Mataji, can you read the translation?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, you can read.
Sanjay said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhan went to his teacher and spoke the following words.
Okay.
What? Dhritarashtra
You can read it.
Dhritarashtra was blind from birth. Unfortunately, he was also bereft of spiritual vision. He knew very well that his sons were equally blind in the matter of religion, and he was sure that they could never reach an understanding with the Pandavas, who were all pious since birth. Since still he was doubtful about the influence of the place of pilgrimage, and Sanjaya could understand his motive in asking about the situation on the battlefield. Sanjaya wanted therefore to encourage this despondent king and thus assured him that his sons were not going to make any sort of compromise under the influence of the holy place. Sanjaya therefore informed the king that his son Duryodhan, after seeing the military force of the Pandavas, at once went to the commander-in-chief Dronacharya to inform him of the real position. Although Duryodhan is mentioned as the king, he still had to go to the commander on account of the seriousness of the situation. He was therefore quite fit to be a politician. But Duryodhana's diplomatic veneer could not disguise the fear he felt when he saw the military arrangement of the Pandavas.
Okay. So, yeah. So, Sanjaya understood that Dhritarashtra is afraid, and because Dhritarashtra is blind materially, now he has become spiritually blind. That he could not make out that no Krishna is the supreme lord, and his sons are impious. Kauravas are impious, so they cannot stand any chance of winning the war. But and even the Kauravas are also blind. So to console Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya started describing the what Duryodhana is doing. If Duryodhana wants to make peace, he will go to Yudhishthir. But Duryodhana is going to Dronacharya, who is his commander-in-chief. And Duryodhana is seeing the army of Pandavas. After that, he is going, so which shows that Duryodhana is planning how to fight the Pandavas. So that's why he is going to Dronacharya. So in that way, Dhritarashtra is pacified. Dhritarashtra's fear is pacified. That Duryodhana is going to fight. He's not going to compromise. Okay. So now, what Duryodhana is going to tell Dronacharya, it will come. So now there will be a series of verses. That's all discussion between. That's what Duryodhana gives instructions to Dronacharya. Okay. So we'll recite the verse. Pashaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Shamum.
Pashaitam
Panduputranam
Acharya Mahatim
Shamum.
Vyudam Drupada Putrena Tava Sishyena Dhimata.
Vyudam
Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata.
So Duryodhana is telling, no, Pashreta, no, see. Mahatim Shamum, the big army arranged by Vyudam Drupada Putrena, the son of Drupada, who is called Drishtadyumna, Tava Sishyena, who is your disciple. So Duryodhana is telling to Dronacharya, "Oh Drona, look, the army of Pandavas, which is arranged by Drishtadyumna, who is your disciple." So through purport, we'll understand what is exactly intention of Duryodhana. Okay. So, okay, let's see if we can read. Aruna Mataji, you can read translation. Yes.
O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupad. Shall I
Okay.
read the purport as
Yes,
well?
yes.
Purport. Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya, the great Brahmana commander-in-chief. Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupad, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupad performed a great sacrifice by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet, as a liberal Brahmana, he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets when the son of Drupad, Drishtadyumna, was entrusted to him for military education.
Okay.
Now,
So, yeah. Just a minute. I'll try to explain. I'll explain something. So the Duryodhana is telling to Drupada, Dronacharya, see the large army of Pandavas. Our Acharyas say that Duryodhana wants to say, see, Pandavas are your students, and no, but no, they don't have any respect for you. They want to fight with you. So that way, Duryodhana wants to excite the anger of Drona, because if you have to fight, you need anger. He wants to excite him, to fight. Why he wants to excite him? Because if he has come to the war, means he is already decided to fight. But there is a reason. Because previously, as Prabhupada explained here, Dronacharya and Drupada are friends, and Dronacharya felt cheated by Drupada. So then there was a quarrel. Pandavas defeat Drupada. So then Dronacharya forces Drupada to give him half of his kingdom. Then Drupada feels bad. He wants to get tit for tat. So then he performs a yajna. So then Draupadi and Drishtadyumna are born. So he performs a yajna to get a son who will kill Dronacharya. So then Drishtadyumna was born. Then Drupada surprisingly sends him to Dronacharya to learn army and to learn military art. So because Dronacharya is a Brahmana, because he had some because Drupada was wrong. So Dronacharya wanted to set him right and teach him a lesson. So he has done that. So that is done. So Dronacharya now forgot his grudge, everything. And as a Brahmana, so then again Drishtadyumna came, because the qualities of a Brahmana are Shamodamas, Tapas, Shaucham, Shanti, Arjavam. So peacefulness, forgiveness, these are all the qualities of a Brahmana. So that's why Dronacharya, without any fear, taught all the military secrets to Drishtadyumna. But Duryodhana is saying, you don't again become liberal like this. Now again, don't become liberal towards Pandavas, as you became liberal towards Drishtadyumna. Because you became liberal that time, because of that, now Pandavas, Drishtadyumna did all this. If you would not have taught Drishtadyumna, Pandavas would have been in more weak position now. So that is what Duryodhana is telling. So that's why actually Duryodhana is not king, but no, Duryodhana is called as Raja in the last verse. So our acharyas say that refers to Duryodhana is an expert in Rajaniti, because the king is Dhritarashtra, not Duryodhana, but Duryodhana is addressed with the word Raja. Now,
Now, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Drishtadyumna took the side of the Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for their military phalanx. After having learned the art from Dronacharya, Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya's so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By this, he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in the battle against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's affectionate students. Arjuna especially was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Duryodhana also warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat.
okay, so what Duryodhana did, he told Dronacharya, don't be lenient. Earlier you have been lenient towards Drishtadyumna, and it has caused a problem. So if you become lenient, then again it will cause more problem towards Pandavas, and if you don't fight with your full energy and full vigor. So that is what Duryodhana saying. Duryodhana wants to say to Dronacharya, fight with your full vigor. Don't be lenient. So that is what Duryodhana wants to say. Now Duryodhana now pointed out the defect in Dronacharya. But now Duryodhana is giving confidence to Dronacharya that now we have good strength, Pandavas don't have good strength. And now, so Duryodhana is pointing out a mistake. But now Duryodhana is giving him confidence also, no, that you can overcome the mistake, and he's giving also a solution. So in our life also, if you point out somebody's mistake, we should also be able to give them some solution and give them confidence on how they can overcome the mistake. Okay, so now Duryodhana compares. So his Pandavas army and his army. So till now we could because the purports are small, we could read, and this is the beginning. So but as we proceed ahead, we may not be able to always read the purports, but I'll try to paraphrase what Prabhupada is saying. We'll see the main parts of the purport. Okay, so let's recite the verse. Atra Shura Maheshwasha Bhima Arjuna Samayudhi
Shura Maheshwasa
Arjuna Samayudhi
Yudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharataha.
Yudhano Viratashcha Drupadascha Maharataha.
So
yeah, Duryodhana is saying Bhimarjuna Atrashura Maheshwaso Bhimarjuna Mahayudhi. The Shura, their Maheshwasha means bowmen. Shura means they are very courageous. There are many courageous bowmen like Bhima, Arjuna. They are both equal in strength. Then there is Yudhana. Yudhana is Satyaki. Virata. Virata is the king of Virata, where Pandavas go for their Agyatavas. Virata, and also he is the father-in-law of Abhimanyu, because Abhimanyu marries the daughter of Virata. And Drupadascha Maharatha and Drupada also. So here it will, now the next 3-4 verses there will be many names of different people. Okay. So they are not just bowmen, but they are very heroic. Sometimes somebody may have strength, but they may not be courageous. Like maybe if you can see the Bollywood actors or something. So apart also from strength, one needs to have courage. Okay. So Prabhupada is explaining also, he's explaining how Bhima and Arjuna are formidable and etc. So here a word is used, Maharatha. Last word, Maharatha. So our acharyas explain what exactly it means. Maharatha means one who can fight with 10,000 archers. Adhiratha means unlimited, one who can fight with unlimited archers. Almost, it is also told somewhere that 60,000 archers minimum. So Arjuna and Bhishma are called Adhirathas. And Ratha, Ratha means he can only fight with one archer. And Artha Ratha means who cannot even do that. He can only do something less than that. Okay. So yeah, we'll go to the next verse. Drishtaketu Chekitanaha Kashi Rajasya Viryavan.
Ketu Chekitanaha Kashirajasya Viryavan.
Purijit Kunti Bhojasya Shaibyasya Narapungava. So again, different, some more warriors on Pandava's side, Duryodhana is describing. He calls them as Narapungava. They are leaders among men. They are powerful men. So that's what he says. So the translations goes like this. There are also great, heroic, powerful fighters like Drishtaketu, Chekitanaha, Kashi Raja, Purijit, Kunti Bhoja, and Shaibya. So Drishtaketu is son of Shishupal. Duryodhana is worried. Krishna has killed Shishupal. Why again? He's fighting on Krishna's side. Then Chekitana is son of Drishtaketu, who is son of Shishupal. Kashi Raj is king of Kashi, who is father-in-law of Duryodhana. So it is said Kashi has two kings. If you read in Krishna book, there is the one of the kings of Kashi who tried to imitate Krishna. So that king is killed by Krishna. So this is another king. This Kashiraj refers to that other king, who is actually father-in-law of Duryodhana. So again, Duryodhana is worried why he is fighting against me. Then there is Kunti Bhoja. Kunti Bhoja is actually, you can say, yeah, he adopted Kunti. Kunti was actually born to Surasena, and she is sister of Vasudeva. But Kunti Bhoja, he did not have any children, so he adopted Kunti. And then there is Purujit, who is son of Kunti Bhoja. And then there is Shaibya, he is king of Shibi. So these are all different warriors on the side of Pandava. Yeah. So the next verse, Duryodhana is still listing some more warriors. Okay. Yudamanyuscha Vikranta Uttamaujascha Viryavan. Sobhadro Draupadeyascha Sarva Eve Maharata. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah. So Yudamanyu and okay, the translation goes like this. There are mighty Yudamanyu, the very powerful Uttamauja, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi. All these are great chariot fighters. Okay. So Yudamanyu and Uttamauja, they are princes from Panchala, kingdom of Drupada. So along with Drishtadyumna, Drupada, they are also there. Saubhadra is Abhimanyu, who is killed in the Chakravyuh. He is the son of Arjuna and Subhadra. That's why he's called Saubhadra. Then there is Draupadeya. This refers to five people. They are 5 sons of Draupadi. So Draupadi had one child with along with each Pandava. So their names are Prativindya, Shrutasena, Shrutakirti, Shatanika, and Shrutakarma. These all eventually get killed by Krutavarma and Ashwadhama after the war ends. And then there is also word Cha. Cha here, Duryodhana is referring to Gatotkacha, who is a son of Bhima and Hidimbi. So now Duryodhana has listed all the warriors on Pandava's side. And now Duryodhana is feeling, Dronacharya may feel, I am afraid of Pandavas. So now Duryodhana is going to list the warriors on Kaurava's side and wants to show to Dronacharya that no, I'm confident of victory. So it is a natural, typical mentality of a conditioned soul. Let's say if there is a India-Pakistan match, so many people in India will glorify the team of India, and they will say they will belittle the Pakistan team. No, this batsman is not there. He is not there. They have this problem, that problem. So it is typical, even collectively as well as the individually also. Yeah. Okay, so let's recite the verse. Asmakam tu vishishtaye tan niboda dvijottama.
Ashmakam tu vishishtaye niboda dvijottama.
Nayaka mama sainyasya sangyardam tan bravimite.
Nayaka mama sainyasya sajnartha tamna bravimite.
Okay, so now Duryodhana is telling, so now Duryodhana, one shloka is telling about, now I'm going to tell about our fighters. So Duryodhana is telling, Asmakam tu Vishishtaye, but our warriors, they are special. And I'm going to tell you completely about them so that you will also become confident. Okay, so translation reads like, but for your information, O best of the Brahmanas, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. So Duryodhana is glorified, means he's seeing them as special, his warriors. Okay, so we'll go to the next verse. Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Krupascha Samitinjayaha.
Bhavan Bhishmascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitinjaya.
Ashwadhama Vikarnascha Somadatta Stataiva cha.
Ashwadhama Vikarnascha Somadatta Stataiva cha.
Okay. Anurag Pro, can you read translation? Okay. Anuradha Mataji, can you read the translation?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
There are personalities like you, Bhishma, Karna, Krupa, Ashwatthama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta called Purishrava, who are always victorious
In battle. Yes, continue. In battle, purport.
Duryodhana mentions the exceptional heroes in the battle, all of whom are ever victorious. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhana, Ashwatthama is the son of Dronacharya, and Somadatti or Purishrava is the son of the king of the Bahalikas. Karna is the half brother of Arjuna, as he was born of Kunti before her marriage with King Pandu. Kripacharya's
Twin sister married Dronacharya. Okay, thank you. So again, see, in the last verse he told, in the last verse, Duryodhana tells Asmakam tu Vishishtaye. Now again, he is telling about his warriors. Samitinjayaha means they are not just warriors, but they are very experienced. They were always victorious. And interestingly, if you see, Bhishma is elder to Drona in age as well as in the hierarchy of administration. But Duryodhana, to encourage Dronacharya, so he first used Bhavan, then he told Bhishmas. So Bhavan refers to Dronacharya and then he's telling Bhishma. So you are the main person in us. So that's what no Duryodhana is saying. So this all shows how much how expert diplomat Duryodhana is. Okay. Okay. So we'll go to the next verse where Duryodhana, what he's thinking about, no, all his soldiers, means that is being told. Earlier it is told about their capacity. Now Duryodhana's thing is, there is is telling about their surrender to him. Yes, Prabhu, Jayanand Krishna Prabhu, you have something?
Prabhu, I have this question: the Bhavan Bhishmacha Karna Chaitanya, but then as far as we know, and I think it has been discussed in many lectures, that Karna was not there as a part of the initial army which was fighting. He came onto the battlefield only when Bhishma Dev, was out of the, like, he couldn't fight anymore. So how come it's like Duryodhana is banking on him and counting his name in front of the Dronacharya?
Okay, so I need to check. So this most likely is this is the first day. Means first day means the battle has not even started. So I heard that like Bhishma calls Karna as no, you're not even a Artharatha. So that's what. So I need to check and I'll get back maybe tomorrow when this incident happened. So likely this incident might have happened next. So
Maybe.
then Karna might have withdrawn. I'll check and confirm because I also need to check.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. So we will now see what Duryodhana is thinking about the mood of the what all his about his people on his side, Kaurava generals and all. Okay. Anyecha bahava shura madarte tyakta jivita.
Nature Bhagavan Shura
Nana shastra praharna sarve yuddha visharatha.
Nana Shastra Praharanaha Sarve Visharadaha.
So Duryodhana is telling they are Nana Shastra Praharana. They have many weapons and they are Yuddha Visharada. They are very experts. And then he is telling Anyecha Bhava Shura. These are not the he in the before shloka he has told about some 5-6. But he told there are many. Because I cannot tell everyone, so that's why he's telling there are many and there are Shuras. There are also many heroes and they are ready to lay down their lives for me. Yeah, we can. The transition. We have to. Okay. Nagnajit Priya Mataji, can you read translation perfect?
Yes, Prabhu. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and all are experienced in military science. Purport: as far as the others are concerned, like Jayadratha, Kritavarma, and Shalya, all are determined to lay down their lives for Duryodhana's sake. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them would die in the battle of Kurukshetra for joining the party of the sinful Duryodhana. Duryodhana was, of course, confident of his victory on account of the above mentioned combined strength of his friends.
Okay. So yeah, so Duryodhana is banking on their confidence. As Jayanand Pro asked the question. So Duryodhana is thinking that all are surrendered. But no, we see that Bhishma and Karna have Bhishma and Karna have differences. Even Karna and Shalya also they have differences. They also don't cooperate with each other. So because Duryodhana wants to justify he wants to hide his fear. So it is general that they try to justify themselves. We also see that how Kamsa's ministers also glorify Kamsa. When Kamsa is afraid that some child is born who is going to kill me, when the Yogamaya comes and threatens Kamsa that the child who is going to kill you is already born at another place, and Kamsa becomes afraid. But through some false arguments, a conditioned soul sometimes tries to justify his fear and overcome his fear. So this is being demonstrated in Duryodhana's case here. Okay. So then, okay. So we'll go to the next verse where Duryodhana is now comparing quantity wise. Till the earlier verses, he's comparing the quality in the capability of fighting, also in the surrender. Now he's comparing the quantity, numerical strength. Aparyaptam tadasmakam bhalam bhishmabhirakshitam.
अपर्याप्तं तदस्माकं बलं भीष्माभिरक्षितम्
Paryaptam to idametesham bhalam bhimabhirakshitam.
पर्याप्तं त्विदमेतेषां बलं भीमाभिरक्षितम्.
Okay, so here Duryodhana is saying our army strength is immeasurable. In one sense, it is correct. I think they have 11 Akshonis army, and Pandavas have 9. So which is numerically it is correct.
7.
7. Okay.
Pandavas had 7 and Kauravas had 11.
Okay. Thank you. So this is the numerical strength he's saying. But we can read the translation and purport. Prabhu, so can you read the translation purport? Jayanand Krishna Prabhu. Haribo.
Yes, Prabhu. I will.
Yeah.
One second. Herein an estimation of the comparative strength is made by Duryodhana. He thinks that the strength of his armed forces is immeasurable, being specifically protected by the most experienced general grandfather Bhishma. On the other hand, the forces of Pandavas are limited, being protected by a less experienced general Bhima, who is like a fig in the presence of Bhishma. Duryodhana was always envious of Bhima because he knew perfectly well that if he should die at all, he would only be killed by Bhima. But at the same time, he was confident of his victory on account of the presence of
Bhishma,
who was a far superior general. His conclusion that he would come out of the battle victorious was well ascertained. Surrender to me.
Okay. Thank you. So the Duryodhana is especially envious about Bhima because from childhood Bhima used to bully all the Kauravas, and then Duryodhana tried to kill Bhima by feeding poison, but Bhima goes to that Nagaloka, and then he gets more strength, he gets many blessings. So then Duryodhana becomes more envious. So his envy further increases. And so that way, and Duryodhana and Bhima is most Kshatriya-like among the 5 Pandavas. Arjuna is a little bit mild, and Yudhishthira is quite mild. So that way also, Duryodhana is very envious of Bhima. And our acharyas say that, numerically the strength is correct. But if you see, Pandavas are very confident. They are very confident on Krishna's strength and all. But if you see Bhishma and Drona, they are attached to Pandavas. So though Duryodhana has strength, but Bhishma and Drona, they have this weakness of being liberal towards Pandavas. So that way, actually, Paryaptam can also mean sufficient. So Duryodhana is saying our strength is insufficient because Bhishma and Drona have some weakness, and the strength of Pandavas is sufficient is sufficient. So this can also mean this. So our acharyas give what is called as Saraswatyarth. So when like these demons, like Duryodhana and all, they speak, Mother Saraswati gives them words in such a way that though they may means some wrong things towards Lord and his devotees, Saraswati Devi gives words such a way so that they have another meaning, which is in like a glorification towards Lord and his devotees. So these things you will find a lot in Bhagavatam. When Hiranyakashipu scolds Prahlad, so like that there are many. Okay. So now how in the next verse also we will see how Duryodhana is more confident on Bhishma. So that thing Duryodhana continues, and Duryodhana now tells the strategy for Drona, what he should do. Till now Duryodhana tried to give confidence to Drona, know that our people are better and they are more surrendered and we have more in number. So that way Duryodhana tried. So now Duryodhana is trying this. Okay, so we'll read the next verse. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avastita.
अयनेषु च सर्वेषु यथा भागम् अवस्थितः
Bhishmamevaभिरक्षन्तु bhavantam sarva eva hi.
भीष्ममेवाभिरक्षन्तु भवन्तः सर्व एव हि.
So here again, Duryodhana is trying to tell, giving more, responsibility on Drona. Though Bhishma is there, but no, you are also very important, because so we will read. Prabhupada explains that what is the special responsibility of Drona and others, though Bhishma is there. Okay, Prerna Mataji, can you read translation?
All of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army.
Yeah, purport.
Purport. Duryodhana, after praising the prowess of Bhishma, further considered that others might think that they had been considered less important. So, in this usual diplomatic way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. He emphasized that Bhishmadeva was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man. So, everyone must especially think of his protection from all sides. He might become engaged in fight and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on one side. Therefore, it was important that
you can continue. Other heroes
not leave the strategic point position and allow the enemy to break the phalanx. Duryodhana clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depends on the presence of Bhishmadeva. He was confident of the full support of Bhishmadeva and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all great generals in the assembly. Although he knew that the two generals had some sort of affection for Pandavas, he hoped that these generals would now completely give it up as they had done during the gambling performances.
Okay, so here again Prabhupada is telling us like how Duryodhana is not fully confident, but he is trying to bank on the strength of Bhishma and Duryodhana. Though because there is also in past they were lenient also to Pandavas. We see that Dronacharya taught many more secret weapons to Arjuna, and Bhishma also means he was also affectionate because he liked Arjuna and all, because Arjuna, they were pious and they were very, very righteous, virtuous and all, well behaved, etc. So they gave also leniency, but Duryodhana is thinking that okay, so because Bhishma and Dronacharya, they kept quiet when Draupadi was being disrobed, so he is thinking that okay, so they will fully support me. So this is of course, if somebody wants to get justified about something, so then one will find justification for it. But if you see, the condition is it's uncertain whether Bhishma and Drona will fully support it or not. Yeah, so this is one of the CBE questions. So there was one CBE questions on this. So you can and try to understand it properly. Yeah. So here in this verse, Duryodhana is encouraging Dronacharya that you also have a very good responsibility apart from Bhishma. Though Bhishma is expert and all, but he's old, so he may not be able to focus fully on his responsibility as a general, as well as fighting with, as well as on his fighting. So you should compliment him. So don't feel inferior, but compliment Bhishma. So this shows that Duryodhana is not that confident. So that's why Duryodhana is telling them. Okay. So in the last few verses, we saw the conversation between Duryodhana and Dronacharya. So initially, Duryodhana pointed out the defects in Dronacharya. That earlier you were lenient to Drishtadyumna, it created a problem now. So now again, don't be lenient to Pandavas and create further problem. So this is one. So then he pointed out the problem, but he tried to give confidence to Dronacharya by by showing how the Kauravas have good numerical strength, both in quality as well as surrender of the soldiers, and also in numerical quantity. And he showed how Pandavas, there are many, but they are not that experienced. Then he also told Dronacharya that don't think that Bhishma means I am focusing on Bhishma. You also have a very good responsibility. Okay, so we'll have some short discussion. So based on like Duryodhana is now means he's anxious whether all his soldiers will support him or not, and whether Bhishma and Drona will support him or not. So whether he'll be victorious or not. So Duryodhana tried to reduce his anxiety by he did some certain things in the previous verses. So we also face anxiety in our daily lives. Maybe in a profession we may get some emergency ad hoc. Something unexpected can always happen. So the first thing you can think about is like based on the what Duryodhana did, can we have some pointers on how to manage anxiety? Okay. And then another thing is you can quote similar examples from Shastra, like where some people, they were in anxiety, so how they reduced that anxiety and developed confidence. So this is second. And third, and this anxiety is a common problem in the world. There is lot of competition, and competition is increasing day by day in competitive exams, and also people becoming anxious is a very common problem. So, and then yeah, but there are also some good motivational speakers and all who tell how to deal with anxiety. So which Duryodhana is also trying to do in some way. So, but even if someone follows this, they may fail. They may still be anxious. So why they will still be anxious? So Duryodhana, if you see, he's very expertly diplomatic and all, but still he's not fully confident. So why he is not fully confident? So I hope those three questions are clear. So you can take maybe around okay, 3 minutes. You can take 3 to 5 minutes, and you can answer any of one of the questions. You can think about answers. So you can answer any one of the questions. We will take different answers from different devotees for each question. Okay, I hope it's clear. The exercise is clear. So we have 5 minutes. After that, we will discuss these 3 questions. Okay. Yes, Mataji, you have some query? Deepali Mataji.
Prabhu, I want to answer the question.
Yeah, means we have 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you can tell your answer. Okay?
After 5 minutes.
Yeah. Means different devotees, you can think about a more elaborate answer. Means I don't want some short answer. You can think a little detailed answer. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we will discuss these 3 questions now. So the first question, who all want to answer? Please raise your hand. Okay. Yes, bro. Yamuna Vilas, bro, you can answer.
Pruji, the first question, my thoughts on that is we can see that Duryodhana was trying to get rid of his anxiety by calculating, like on material level, he has this many number of expert warriors on his side. Bhishma Pitama is there. So he was numerically calculating or materially calculating the strength, and he was seeing that, oh, these are my strength, and trying to get rid of his anxiety. And second one, should I?
Oh, no. First one. Okay, so calculation is one important thing which Duryodhana is doing. Okay, so anyone else wants to add something? So apart from calculation, Duryodhana is also doing some more things. So
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu. Arjun Prabhu, please tell.
We can see that he went to commander-in-chief. He didn't go to any of his friends or to other person. He went to commander-in-chief who would control the situation. So one of the anxiety management strategies that you should go who can have some effect. So he went to that person. While calculation also, when he was speaking to him, he was considering everyone, not that he was speaking from one-sided. He considered Bhishma and other heroes also, and of both the team. That is what he compared. And even while talking to the person, when he was revealing his situation, so he was showing confidence on him. And then we can see that he was diplomatic. That while showing confidence on him, he did not neglect others also. So we can see he is very expert.
Yes. So you have told about three things, I think. So one is Duryodhana is clear about circle of influence and circle of concern. Duryodhana can best influence Drona, so that's why he went to Drona. And Drona has also the best influence. So that's correct. And then also reverse polarity. Duryodhana is not just seeing his own things, his own plus points, but he also is aware of his limitations and what are weaknesses in his side, and he's also seeing the strengths of Pandavas. So very good. Okay, so basically Duryodhana is doing what is called a SWOT analysis. So he's seeing what are all his strengths. The strengths are Bhishma is there, Drona is there, and some other warriors are there. They are surrendered. We have good in number, but he also knows weaknesses. So there are limitations. There are Bhishma and Drona have some liberty. They are a bit liberal towards Pandavas. So this is a weakness. So he's also aware of that. Then he's seeing the opportunity. So if Bhishma is maintained well and he fights with his full strength, then we can definitely win. But for that, the threat is he may get sidetracked, and the enemy he may not be able to manage the other soldiers properly. So that Dronacharya and all, they should complement Bhishma. So that is what he's doing. So he's first he's analyzing, and he's also planning. Based on that analysis, he did thorough study, and based on that he did analysis, and then he made some plans, and he also built some confidence on how the plan will work. So this is something he did. Okay, so the second question, I mean, these are some things which we can also learn. Like our acharyas say that it's very, because Bhagavad Gita is known as a very sacred book, but how it is starting with with Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana and Drona and all. So like one senior devotee, he cultivates many well-wishers. So once he was telling in Bhagavatam class that one of the well-wishers asked, how Bhagavad Gita is starting with Dhritarashtra and Dhritarashtra. He was telling, generally in the match, the opening batsman will be good. So how, so he was telling like that. So our acharyas say, if you see a salt mine, even if you add little sugar or some sweet and all, that also becomes salty. So our acharyas say Bhagavad Gita is like a salt mine. The words of Krishna and all, they're very pure. So Duryodhana's words, though they are impure, ill-motivated, with this ocean of purity, they're apparently impolite, ill-motivated words also get that purity. So that's what our acharyas say. So we can also derive some lessons in the for our own devotional service from these initial verses of Duryodhana and Dhritarashtra. Okay, so the second question, someone else can answer. Okay, someone else, anyone? Okay, Arun Pro, you can answer then.
Like we see when Krishna is attacked by many demons again and again, and all the Gopas, they are concerned that what to do. So they were in anxiety. And then there is a meeting between Upanand and Nand. Everyone sits there. And then they decide that what should we do, and then they said that we will shift from Gokul to Vrindavan.
Okay.
So they are resolving their anxiety by having a meeting and discussing with everyone.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So this is correct. And also,
Prabhuji,
yes.
when it was when Ravana was planning for the war, he also had anxiety because he knew about Lord Ram's strength. But at the same time, he was very confident about he himself having lot of power, and Ram had only an army of Vanaras.
Yes. Yes. So he does that. Ravana sends spies to watch over the things, and even at later time when Indrajit many or have died, so Ravana's ministers come and they still give him confidence that you have defeated Indra, you have defeated this, no one can defeat you, and Ram is just a human being. So yeah, so we see different examples. Prasanna Gopal Pro, yes, please.
Yes, the example of Hiranyakashipu, when Hiranyaksha was died, then all the Hiranyaksha's wives were mourning, and then Hiranyakashipu told, even it is said that he told the all principles of Bhagavad Gita, that how the soul and then it is soul is imperishable, and all these things were told and pacified, and again he regained the energy, and also in life also he gave encouragement to all the other demons maybe, and then he again regained, and then he rebuilt his strength. So
yes. Thank you. Yes, bro. Thank you. So yes, it is both a life situation for Hiranyaksha's family and a fighting situation for the soldiers of Hiranyaksha. So he did that. Thank you. Very nice. So I'm happy that you understood the concepts. Okay, so for the third one, can someone say? Someone else? Third question. Though we have these good strategies, why still the SWOT analysis fails? Yes, Arun Pro, we can tell.
Like we see the example Rajan gives that everything material is zero. Like zero, and when Krishna acts, it becomes one. He acts like one. Then it has value. So we see that although he calculates everyone, but there is not a single slok where he talks about Krishna, that Krishna is there on their side. So he forgets to see Krishna on the side of Pandavas. And therefore, in one sense, in calculation, he fails.
Okay. So yes, so spiritual versus material. So it's good, but still, based on logic, also we can say, based on the nature of material world, can we tell some things based on logic? Definitely, giving a spiritual perspective is correct. Some more logic. Anyone else wants to try? Yeah, okay, we will see. I'll tell. So this will come in let's say I think the third chapter and all. Means without bringing Krishna or Bhakti into picture, we can even say, we can see the world is a world of limitation. we are also limited. We have the 4 defects. So our analysis is also prone to the 4 defects. And Duryodhana is thinking that he is controller of his army, but his controller is also limited and is also faulty. That is also uncertain. And there are many other factors, because Duryodhana's has these 4 defects. He cannot say that his analysis is complete. So there may be many other uncertainties that come. So he cannot predict the rivalry between Bhishma and Karna. He cannot predict the rivalry between Karna and incompatibility between Karna and Shalya. So even we may do all this analysis, we have to understand that it is based on our limitation. So there are many ways. So even if the best people are, best plan makers are there and all, even the best plans of the best plan makers also fail. So sometimes it's like that. So we see in the world history also, if you see the Germany, they have actually planned, strategized everything very nicely. And they are also about to conquer Russia and all. But they underestimated some logistics and all. How they will maintain their soldiers in Russia. Russia is very cold. So they oversaw some things and they became overconfident. So that's why they could not defeat Russia, and Russia ended up defeating them, and the allies have defeated them. So this is how. And if we see, even in Ramayana, because if you see, Lord Ram assures Sugriva that he will protect, and Sugriva goes with that confidence to fight Vali. But Sugriva could not make out that we both look similar, so I have to do something so that Lord Ram can only identify me. So that he again he gets defeated. So then he realizes it. So then again he does it. So the thing is, our senses are not perfect. So our analysis will not be perfect, and we cannot completely know what all factors determine a particular situation. So if we see in the 18th chapter, we will get, there are 5 factors which determine the outcome. So we cannot always control all the 5 factors, because our control is limited. This people don't know, and they don't know that how their senses are not perfect. So that's why even if they do SWOT analysis and all, but they encounter failure and all. Okay, and ultimately that if they are adharmic. So if they are adharmic, then they are going to get defeated. Sometimes immediately, sometimes over time. If you see Hitler and all, initially they were victorious. They conquered many places in Europe and all. So the people in the world were afraid and all. But eventually they got destroyed. Of course, there are many demoniac kings in India, like Aurangzeb and all. So they got destroyed by time, though they were victorious in their battles and all. So that is actually the ultimate reason. Okay, so any questions about this previous section? Any other questions till now?
I have one question.
Yeah.
We see in discipleship succession. I have asked this question already, but I didn't understand properly.
Okay.
And please clear. We see in discipleship succession, it has been long time. In discipleship succession, we see some particular number of gurus. So how do we explain? And I heard that there is a direct jump between 2 sampradaya and something like that. But can you explain that gap? Or there are few number of teachers. Otherwise, it would have been many, because it has been long time. 5,000 years ago, Krishna said to Arjuna, Bhagavad Gita, or Krishna said to Brahma and Vyasa, like that. Yeah. So can you explain that?
Yeah. So there are some allegations that actually Baldev Vidyabhushan does not does not belong to Madhva Sampradaya or something like that. I can know more about it and then do that. But if you see, the disciplic succession is clear, though this happened 5,000 years ago. From Krishna, it came to Brahma, then Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vyasa. So this is clear. So from Vyasa to Madhva, though there is long gap. So in Madhvacharya's biography, we can see the pastime of Madhvacharya going to Badrikashram and hearing from Vyasadeva. So that way it is intact there. Then from Madhvacharya to till Lakshmipati Tirtha. So that is also fine. Yeah, so I can find out the details. Basically, Lakshmipati Tirtha does not come mostly in the Ashtamatas, Ashta Acharyas, eight Acharyas established by Madhvacharya, but some other disciple of Madhvacharya, he is the guru of, he comes in a different line than the 8 principal lines of Madhvacharya. So that is one thing. So only that is, I think Baldev Vibhushan, that is not relevant to this. That details I can tell you, like Lakshmipati Tirtha comes in which line and all. So that I can say. And another way, if you see, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also not different from Krishna. So that way, that thing is also there. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
One more question, like in translation second, and then third, like in second it says that, O king, after looking over the armies arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu. So here sons of Pandu represents army, and in the next third slope, third verse, it says that by Drishtidyumna. So is it like army and Drishtidyumna? That understanding, is that understanding correct?
Okay. Yeah, let me just check. Yeah. So you are saying here the sons of Pandu, the great army of the sons of Pandu, and then you're saying
in the second verse, yeah, second verse.
Okay. Okay, here the army, the leaders of the army are Pandavas, na? So that way, and under Pandavas, Drishtadyumna is also there.
Okay, like in the second verse, it says like military formation by the sons of Pandu.
Yeah.
That also represents army as a whole because they are leaders, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yeah. So that is what. It's not just sons of Pandu, but it is the army under the leadership of sons of Pandu. Okay, so we will go to the next. Maybe I think we are a little late. We'll finish the last few verses. Okay, so now Bhishma responds to the fear of Duryodhana. So let's recite the verse. Tasya sanjanayan harsham kuru vruddha pitamaha.
Tasya sanjayan harsha kuru vruddha pitamaha.
Simhanadam vinadhyochay shankam dadmo pratapavan.
Simhanadam vinadhyosche shankam dadmo pratapavan.
Okay. So the translation is, then Bhishma, the great valiant, valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like the roar of a lion, giving Duryodhana joy. So here, Bhishma understood, could sense the discussion between Dronacharya and Duryodhana, and he could read the fear. He could read the fear in Duryodhana's mind. So then, so to ensure that Duryodhana, that I will do my full best, and I'll be also ready to lay down my life for you. So this to convey this message, Bhishma started blowing his conch shell. And the Conch and Bhishma is a very strong, is like a lion, means he is the top fighter. He's specially trained by Devatas, personally trained by Devatas. So that's why he's called as a lion, and he blow his conch shell, which also produced a very great sound, like a roaring sound of a lion. Okay. So Prabhupada explains this. But Bhishma also knows in his heart that Krishna is on the, Bhishma is a great devotee of Krishna, which we can come to know through Bhagavatam. So Bhishma is also telling Duryodhana that Krishna is on the other side of Pandavas. So ultimately it is in Krishna's hands who will win. Okay. So next verse. Tata Shankascha Beryascha Panavanaka Gomuka
ततः शङ्खश्च भैर्यश्च पनवानकगोमुखः
Sa Saivabhyahanyanta Sa Shabdostumulo Bhavat.
सहसैवाभ्यहन्यन्त स शब्दस्तुमुलो अभवत्.
Okay, so then other soldiers on the side of Kauravas, soldiers and many other generals and all, they also blew their conch shells. So that shows that Kaurava side, they have declared their eagerness to fight. So there are different types of instruments. One is called Shankha. Shankha is a conch shell. Bhairya is a drum. Like Panavanaka is a small drum and kettle drum like Shiva has. That is the kettle. Gomukha or horns or trumpets. So different people have different things. And when all this sound was there, the whole sky was filled with sound. So that is the verse here. Okay, maybe we can read one more verse. Okay. Tata Shveter Hayer Yukte Mahati Shandane Stitau
ततः श्वेतैर्हयैर्युक्ते महति स्यन्दने स्थितो
Madhava Pandavaschaiva Divyo Shanko Pradadmadu.
माधव पाण्डवश्चैव दिव्यो शङ्खप्रदद्मतो.
Okay. Let me see. Madhav Harinam Prabhu, can you read translation? Anurag Prabhu. Mukundapad Prabhu, you can read translation and purport.
Translation. On the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna stationed on a great chariot drawn by the white horses sounded their transcendental conch shells. Purport.
Yes, Prabhu, read.
In contrast with the conch shells blown by Bhishmadev, the conch shells in the hands of Krishna and Arjuna are described as the transcendental. The sounding of the transcendental conch shells indicated that there was no hope of victory for the other side because Krishna was on the side of the Pandavas. Jayastu Pandu Putranam Yeshan Pakshe Janardana. Victory is always with the persons like the sons of Pandu because Lord Krishna also is associated.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Is associated with them. Yes.
With them, and whatever and wherever the Lord is present, the goddess of fortune is also there because the goddess of fortune never lives in alone without her husband. Therefore, victory and fortune were awaiting Arjuna, as indicated by the transcendental sound produced by the conch shells of Vishnu or Lord Krishna. Besides that, the chariot on which both the friends were seated had been donated by Agni,
the fire
god to Arjuna, and this indicated that this chariot was capable of conquering all sides wherever it was drawn over the three worlds.
Okay, so this section is called as signs of victory. So here in this shloka, few signs of victory of Arjuna is there. So first is Shveter Hayer Yukte, Mahati Shandane. So this is the chariot of Agni, which is donated, which is given to Arjuna by Agni. So this is one of the blessings. Then Madhavaha. So the other is Krishna, who is the husband of goddess of fortune. So where Krishna is there, so then naturally there will be fortune. And their Shankas are Divya, they are transcendental. So it's not just materially they are powerful Shankas, but they are very transcendental. So we will continue this section tomorrow. So anyone have any questions till whatever we have discussed today? Questions or something they want to add something also? Fine. Yes, Prabhu, Yamuna Vilas, Prabhu, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, just a clarification, like this Jayastu Pandu Putra Nam. So this is spoken by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra, right?
No, this is from somewhere. I have to find out the source. I need to find out the source where it is there. It doesn't come in Bhagavad Gita.
Okay.
So I need to find out whether Sanjaya spoke it some other place, who spoke it. But this is quoted to support how Pandavas are victorious and all. So Prabhupada is qualifying it that Divya Shanka. So for that, Prabhupada is using this quote. Yeah, I'll try to find out and tell.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. So yeah, I'll just revise what we have discussed today. So first we have discussed the introduction, in which Prabhupada makes it clear that Vyasadeva has written Vedic literature and Bhagavad Gita in particular to help us remember Krishna. So unless we practice remembering Krishna, we cannot remember Krishna at the time of death. So that's why Bhagavad Gita is important, not just to understand philosophy or learn philosophy, but also as a means to remember Krishna, which we see about the Sanjaya also tells that, and Arjuna tells in Bhagavatam. Then the introduction goes after how occupation and Krishna consciousness can be integrated. Prabhupada speaks on that. Then comes Gita Mahatmya, in which there are verses which promise liberation if someone studies Gita. And also they say how Gita is glorious, that one need not study all Vedic literatures, but if they just study Gita, that is sufficient, because Gita contains the essence of Vedas, and Gita is spoken by Krishna. So if someone appreciates Gita, they also they get Sukruti towards devotion to Krishna. That is the ultimate purpose of Vedas. So that is, and then the analogy of Gita of cow, of Vedas as cow, Gita as milk, and Arjuna as a calf, etc. We saw. So then we started the first chapter. So the first chapter we discussed the 5 sections, and then the flow we discussed about what is Dharma Kshetra, why Dhritarashtra is afraid, he used Mamaka, Pandava. And then in the second verse, Sanjaya addresses the fear of Dhritarashtra and describes the interaction between Dronacharya and Duryodhana. So we see the different aspects of Duryodhana's diplomacy. Duryodhana points out the problem of Dronacharya, that he was lenient to Drishtadyumna, now he should not be. And then Duryodhana develops confidence of Dronacharya, that how their Kauravas side is more powerful, and also both in number, quality, quantity, expertise, and also in surrender. And how there are many fighters on Pandava's side, but they are not that competent as Kauravas. Then we also see, he tells, based on this analysis, Duryodhana tells to Dronacharya that you are also very important, and you should manage the army, and Bhishma will be our prime fighter. So then so Bhishma also understands that Duryodhana is afraid. Because Duryodhana is afraid because he is not very confident of Drona and Bhishma, because they are also a bit attached to Pandavas in the past. But they also were silent when Draupadi is being disrobed. So Duryodhana is not so confident, but somewhat confident. So this fear of Duryodhana, Bhishma understands, and then he blows his conch shell, and then other soldiers of Kauravas and generals, they also blew their conch shells. Now Krishna and Arjuna blew their conch shells. So now tomorrow we'll see the further things. Then other Pandavas blew, and then what happens to Arjuna, the interaction between Krishna and Arjuna. Okay, so we stop here.
Maybe one question.
Yes. Bro.
Is my voice clear?
Yes. Yeah, it's a bit clear. You can tell.
Okay. Like at the start of class, you asked that whether we have read Bhagavad Gita before or not. So similarly, like I have started reading with my engineering students and those students who are in 12th class. They are mostly reading for the first time. So where does the study should differ in philosophy, in connection of points, or practical application? They would mostly like practical application probably.
Okay. So if I please correct me if I'm wrong. So your question is that if somebody is reading Bhagavad Gita for first time, what they should focus on?
And when I'm taking reading like I'm reading the reading.
Okay.
Where should I focus for them?
Okay. So
they are my students.
Yes. So if they are devotees and if they are new, then you can maybe first focus on Prabhupada's purports, so that they will develop faith on Prabhupada, they will develop connection. And Prabhupada's emphasis, how devotion is important to know about Krishna. And also, primarily you can first focus on that. Then you can later, you can also tell some other things about flow and all. It depends upon the students also. If they are intellectual, if they have many questions, then they may need a little different approach. If they are little simple and not so philosophical and all, then you can maybe focus more on Prabhupada's purports. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we stop here. Thank you very much for your participation. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Panchakalpatarubhyaśa kripa sindhu pattanam pāna vaishnavabhyo. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.